Good morning. I am going to meal prep today. I have 3 crock pots out. I'm going to make 3 delicious crock pot meals and I'm excited to have food for the week. What I plan to make today is a chicken parm soup, a lasagna soup. I'm hoping that those two taste completely different because there's the chance that they could taste pretty similar, and then also a chicken curry. So we have a little bit of prep to do for these meals. They're not just dump and go, but let's jump right on in and start chopping some onions. I took some meat out last night, put it in the fridge. It's still all pretty frozen, so I've got it now in the sink, cold water defrosting. Now look at all of these onions that I got from my garden this year. It's not a ton of onions, but that's a decent onion harvest for me. So what I'm going to do is just start getting the skins off and then I'll dice them. I might just keep going for a little while and get a bunch of these chopped because I like to keep onions in my freezer, and I also know I plan to make some breakfast burritos today and I need onions for that. So I'm like, if I'm doing it, I might as well just do it. So I am going to put the clean onions back here. There's a chance there will be a lot of dirt on some of them, so I figure let's wash them if I need to, put them back there, and then we'll chop. Oh man, my eyes. Okay, these all need to be rinsed off from the dirt. Okay, I feel like it's been forever, but I got all of them peeled. Some of them are so small, so I was like, we'll just do them all so then they're done. I'm going to use the smallest of the little dicers, and then I'm just gonna put them back in this bowl. I did rinse the bowl out, a little bit of water in it. And then we'll get on to doing everything else. So let's see. This is the quickest way to chop things. So I'm going to do this for the carrots and potatoes too when we get to our curry. I love these things. This one was sent to me a while ago, but I actually already had one from the same brand. It's the Full Star brand. This one, the only difference from the one that I had is that it has the basket that pulls out. Love it. Okay, this is why I love doing it this way. That was so fast, and all of them are now chopped. Let's get these in here, and then we can move on with getting our recipes going. I think the meat that I put in the sink to cold water defrost is good now. Hi, Milo. So we can get that on while we start prepping everything else. We're gonna need these again. Let me just wipe it off, push everything back. Turn that on, get the meat in. And let's pick a crock pot. I think I'm gonna start on the chicken parmesan over here. They say just put onions in them. I'm going back and forth on if I want to saute the onions, because sometimes onions kind of taste raw in the crock pot. Oh. You know what, we'll do it. I'll do this. For this one, I'll saute the onions. For that one I won't, and we'll do a comparison. Onions going in. My chicken's a little frozen still, but this is sliced chicken. I do like to prep everything ahead of time. So the onions, I prepped those today, but those are prepped for the next few times I need onions, which is great. Okay, it calls for garlic. We're going to use some garlic from the jar, and I'm thinking about that behind me. I need to get in there. But I'm also going to add some spices. This only called for like a teaspoon of Italian seasonings. I'm gonna add more, and that's the only spice it called for, which, no. Okay, so here we go. We are going to add in salt and pepper, of course, and then onion powder and garlic powder, because 2 types of garlic is better than 1. Okay, so I'm looking through what else it's calling for. It calls for 4 cups of broth, a 14.5-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and a cup of heavy cream. So I've got the heavy cream out, I've got broth out, I can get the crushed tomatoes out, but I have them in cups, so it's gonna be 1.5 ounces more, which I think is fine. I'm also gonna start with just 1 pint of broth instead of 2. Ooh, we don't need 3. Oh, okay, those ones. I'm just realizing how fresh of a meal this is. Those are tomatoes from last year's garden. We have onions from this year's garden. We have broth that I've home canned. That's fantastic. I'm just breaking this meat up a little bit. I find that sometimes in the kitchen I'm back and forth. This is turkey stock. I'm gonna start with just 1. And then I can always add a pint later. Whoa, but I don't think we're gonna need it. Also, what do you think about the vintage 90s style crock pot? I'm going to be using my Ninja one for something later today, so I figured let's get all 3 out, and this just happens to be the 3rd that I have. I think we have everything in there. It says optional is red pepper flakes. I think that's it. But like, is that gonna be enough tomatoey flavor? Maybe. So after it cooks, we'll add in a cup of heavy cream and a cup of fake Parm. Okay, let's get it on. Okay, let's get our other soup going. This is going to be the lasagna soup. We'll add the noodles later. It needs the meat that's on the stove, but we can get everything else in here in the meantime. So we're gonna have to add spinach to it. Hopefully I remember that, because it's down in the basement. Okay, this one calls for 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. So we've got 8. This isn't gonna fit. $16, $24, close enough. This is the most tomatoes I've used in a long time. We of course are gonna need garlic and the broth. I'm gonna only do some of the broth this time too. You know, I'll probably add more. Well, this one's gonna need it for the noodles, but that has a lot of liquid. We'll see when we get there if we need more. I'm gonna get all the spices in. Same spices, but I'm gonna add some sauce, so hopefully it tastes different. So that was Italian seasonings, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and onion powder. And then I'm also going to add oregano and basil in here. Most of these spices it didn't call for, I just throw everything in. Okay, it calls for 15 ounces of tomato sauce. Do I want to use, you know, I might do tomato paste instead and add a little water. Because 15 ounces out of this is not very much. There'll still be a lot left, and I don't have any plans for the rest of it. I do happen to have a ton of tomato paste already frozen, so I didn't use it all. We're gonna use that up. Make sure it's tomato paste. Look, I even scored it and everything so that I could break it, and I'm doing something where I just use all of it, of course. Okay, I think that's everything except for the meat that's back there, so I'm going to get this over here. All right, I have the meat. It's going in. Meat and onions. I've seen that you can do a crock pot meal with ground beef without cooking it first. I have not been daring enough to try that yet though. Okay, I need to get this turned on. Okay, got that on low. Now for the chicken curry, I'm going to get the chicken in. And this one wants me to chop up some veggies, so we're gonna do that in just a second. I wanna get everything in first and then kind of just have a clear space to do all the veggies. So that was some garlic. We have some lime juice. I'm going to add some salt. I'm not gonna add pepper. It didn't call for pepper. Not that that stopped me before. It does call for half of a cup of chicken stock, and I don't have just a half of a cup open, so I'm gonna put some chicken bouillon and then take about half of a cup of water, and then garlic powder, decent amount of curry powder, some coconut milk, brown sugar, I'm going to get everything put away, and then we need to chop some potatoes and carrots. Okay, I am going to get these peeled. I just washed them, scrubbed them off, and I debated not peeling them, but I smelled them and they just smell like dirt. So I'm gonna take the time to peel them so that way the curry doesn't taste like dirt. Okay, I got the potatoes peeled. A few of these carrots look like they could use being peeled. I'm not gonna peel the rest of them, and I hope that that's not a mistake. So maybe I'll change my mind as I get going on these ones. But for now, the plan is to only peel the ones that look like they need peeled. See, it's like, I don't know, hairy. Grew a little extra parts. I decided I might as well just do them all. Better safe than sorry. It only takes an extra, what, 1 minute? Okay, this did not call for onions, but I am gonna add a little bit because I feel like I should. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to fit in there, so this is what I've prepped so far. I don't want it teeny tiny diced, or do I? Okay, I'm just gonna do them by hand because I would like them a little bigger diced, and I don't care to go get out the bigger diced portion thing. That's fine. So the plan is, I'm just gonna keep filling this. Hopefully everything that I took out fits in there, and I can always add more. I think it needs more carrots, so I'm gonna get some carrots washed up, diced up, and thrown in there. Alrighty, I got some more carrots added in there. This is going on high. I will stir that in a little bit. Same with this one. We will stir that once everything that's frozen in there thaws. And then this one, same thing as well. So now we're just sitting for a few hours, let them cook. It's only 9:30, so I'm hoping that these will be ready for the next step sometime around lunchtime or a little after. I usually eat around like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and so this should be like a perfect dinner time whole set of meals. Now my hope with these meals is that I'll be able to get some into the freezer because we're kind of short on freezer meals, and I don't have it in me to do like a whole freezer meals day right now. Oh gosh, it's kind of a disaster up here because I've got like tomatoes and cookies, but I did end up getting, let's see if we can see it. That's the cinnamon bread. These are cookies. These are tomatoes. Okay, there you go. So that's what we've got. So all of these over here, these 7, I got out of last week's food, which was when we did all of the Thanksgiving meals. So we got 7 meals in the freezer, and I'm starting on this week's meals. So hopefully I'll be able to use this week's meals, get some in the freezer. Of course, I'll use some from the freezer because I'm not just going to be eating these. So we're doing well. I need to get the kitchen cleaned up, and then I'll see you back once those have had a few hours to go. Oh, we will be putting in cream, noodles, spinach if I remember it, and then maybe some cornstarch into the curry. It's been a few hours. These are not done yet. I just switched them from high to low, but I want to give this a mix. Let's see, I'm also going to try to break apart that chicken a little bit because I just want to get the carrots submerged. Actually, I think that probably could live on high for a while. Okay. It smells good. This is the lasagna one. We'll have to put noodles in it when we get close, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, that looks delicious. I probably will need that extra broth for doing the noodles. Okay, this is the chicken parm one. I'm very happy I did not add any extra liquid in here. This has plenty of liquid. Okay, that's not quite falling apart yet, but that will. All right, they're looking good. Okay, I'm gonna add in the extra liquid here. We still have a few hours before I will be, you hear Milo in the background, before I'm going to be adding the noodles, but I can just tell this is going to need it, so there we go. It is now 2:47. I've had this on low for the last quite a few hours. The chicken is now fall apart tender, and I need to get the Parmesan in here. This is our chicken Parmesan. It's fake Parmesan because I can't have the high histamines in regular Parmesan, but I really like this Follow Your Heart vegan Parmesan. I think it tastes great. What's interesting about this soup is that really it's just chicken. Usually soups have a little more to them than just like a meat, but that's okay. The other one called for spinach. I might actually add the spinach in this one instead of the other one. I don't think I have enough spinach to do both. Okay, so let's get, I think I'm gonna need some of this for both so I don't have a ton left, but we'll get a decent amount of this in here. And then this is my first time using this cream from Trader Joe's, so I'm really interested to see how it works, if we like it, what it tastes like. So let me cut this open. Okay, saving it. Kind of got it all over myself. That's okay. Okay, I need practice at that. I did put a little bit of that on my tongue from my finger, and that's actually pretty good. The cream, that's like the table cream, I don't love because the flavor's weird, but this one, the flavor wasn't weird. So this does say I can thicken it with some cornstarch. I'm gonna let it warm up first because now that cream needs to warm, and I'm going to add in this frozen spinach. Gonna crush it up a little bit. I just can't have that be a soup that's literally only chicken. Okay, beautiful. We'll taste it for seasonings and everything once it's had time to come back up to a good temperature. This one needs noodles. So this is boiling, which is great. We've got our ground beef in here. I do want to taste this one because this one we won't really be able to change the flavor. I do think I'm going to add sour cream to it. It says you can use ricotta or you can use cream cheese. I think sour cream is going to be great. But let's taste that. It is quite tart. I'm going to add some garlic salt. Decent amount. And the smallest pinch, maybe not the smallest, maybe a little bigger, of baking soda to try to make that not be quite so tart. A little bit of the spinach went in there. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Oh wow, night and day difference, much better. The rest of this parm's gonna go in here. Mix that around, not very much, but that's okay. And then this needs the noodles. The question is, how many noodles? And these are the oven-ready lasagna noodles, so I feel like they'll cook better in the crock pot than if I were using a non-oven-ready noodle. I think these are just a little bit thinner. Let me look at the directions and see how many it said to use. 8 ounces. This is a 12-ounce pack. This was not quite the entirety of the pack. I just don't want to put too much. I don't know how much of the pack was left. You know, I think I'm just gonna do that because it's supposed to kind of be a soup. But what am I gonna do? Okay, we're just gonna leave it how I just have it. Like, what am I gonna do with the rest of these? I'll make something with them. That's what we'll do. Okay, push that back. These out. When the lid goes back on, we will see these again. I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour or so. Alrighty, I think it's time to give everything a taste test. Here's how the curry is looking. Now it said that I could thicken it. I don't think I'm gonna need to though. There's not that much liquid. Let's try it, see if it needs any seasoning. Potatoes are cooked, that's good. That's delicious. That's mild. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. We're gonna let it cool down, then we can package it up. Go rinse this off. Thinking about that curry, that was actually really good. I usually use a curry paste, not a curry powder. Okay, this is our soup. Actually, let me show you. This is the chicken parm soup that we added the cream to and the, what do you call that? Spinach. That's good. That's not as tomatoey as I thought it would be. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take some tomato sauce from here, add it to there just a little. The flavors here are delicious. I just wish it had a little bit more tomato to it. Okay, yep, perfect. That is so good. Now over to our soup. We need to add in the sour cream, but here's how this is looking. These noodles are fully cooked. I think we have a good amount of noodles in here. I definitely want to add the sour cream though. Okay, I'm gonna start with, oh, I don't know how much to add. Let's do, not much. Not quite 8 ounces, maybe 6 ounces. Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay, so far we're 2 for 2. I mean, how can we go wrong with this, right? Well, I don't know what I was just showing you, but all I've been doing here is mixing this. Oh, it's looking delicious. Oh man. I'm gonna grab a piece of a noodle, a piece of everything. And let's try it. Hot. Aside from being so hot, it burns my mouth. Oh my gosh, that is so fantastic. Okay. Now I have to pick which one I want for dinner. Okay, that was so successful. I put these in early this morning, took the afternoon to actually make a bajillion breakfast burritos, which you'll be seeing in the next video. And then they're just ready for me. So it's like the meal prepped itself, even though I did spend a good amount of time on it this morning. I am so happy about these. This is a ton of food, so I know I'm going to get freezer meals out of it as well, which is always a plus when I can meal prep for the week and have freezer meals. So I am excited to add these to my freezer stash of little, I'll do single serve freezer meals, like lunch sizes. And I'm just very happy. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, what's my meal plan going to be for next week? Like I have this week, we're good. What are we doing next week? I'm excited for it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new and haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd love to see you. I recently did another set of crock pot meals. I will leave that for you over here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.